What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Naaackers. Today is Sunday, May 12th, 2019, and this is episode number 92. Tonight on the show, we have the one and only Josh from SpaceCat Designs. What's going on there, Bald Eagle?
Yeah. How's it going, guys?
It's going well, man. How's your day going today?
Good, man. Mother's Day, had to make a bunch of phone calls, and I sent my mom's gift to myself by mistake on Amazon, so that was good.
A bunch of calls. How many moms do you have?
Well, grandmothers, and
okay.
Like we have some friends who have kids, so it's like,
You're so nice. I've never known anybody to call anybody than their own mother.
oh, we send cards out for like everything, man, for sure. You have to be a good. I feel like that shit is such a lost art, right? Like just taking the time to even just a call, but like to write a note. Like I wrote my doctor a thank you note the other day because she was especially nice to me that day.
Could she read it?
No. It was no, I have worse writing than doctors. It's pretty bad.
Really?
Oh, it's fucking
You know what?
Horrible.
I did laugh my ass off when you sent me that bag of screws, and you were just like, "Whoops, mix them." Like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, he probably did that on purpose.
I did. I thought it'd be obvious which ones were bigger.
Yeah, it was, honestly, it was pretty easy. What was crazy is I poured them all out onto the table. All of the M3s, or most of the M3s, just stood upright. So I was able to just pick out the ones that were upright. It was super weird. Some physics science shit.
Some static kind of metal.
It's either that or something like just like the weight of the M3s compared to the Ed. It just had more weight for it able to stand upright or something. I don't know.
The M3s they're like thicker for sure.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to this dude in just a hot second. During the show, if you guys would like to ask a question during our Q&A, which happens at the end of the show, you can use the exclamation point Q command in chat. So type exclamation Q followed by your question. If we're not live and you'd like to submit any kind of feedback, feel free to shoot me an email at podcast@naackers.com. And lastly, if you enjoy the podcast and you would like to support the show without spending any money at all, please consider leaving a review for the podcast on whatever podcast app you use. So first and foremost, we have a couple like starter questions, and then we're just going to get into the meat and potatoes. We don't really have a script for tonight because Josh is pretty good at shooting the shit.
I shoot it.
You got your back must be hurting for how much you carry that podcast of yours.
Oh shit!
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Didn't hear anything.
No, you guys were all super awesome when I was on there. I had a really good time. First of all, do you have any beverage, anything that you're sipping on at the moment?
I just had some vitamin water.
Okay, what flavor?
Purple.
Purple's not a flavor, and it sure as hell isn't grape.
It's supposed to be grape, I guess.
Okay.
I had that. That's it, really. I'm not like a huge. I have a beer every now and then, but I'm not a big drinker.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna go on vacation next week. We're going to this like spa, and I'll probably drink like the whole time. But that's
yes. Well, that's the only way you can survive a spa.
I can't wait, dude. Oh my god.
Is that the place you told me that you were going?
Yeah, it's like you pay like up front, but like everything is included. They give you like activities. You can do whatever you want. You can go on the lake. All your meals are covered. There's no kids allowed, which is the shit. I love kids, but not when I'm on vacation. Like I'm not going to Disney World, right? So
you're better than I, because I don't even love kids.
I mean, I think I don't know what to say there because my wife listens to this. I mean, we've been talking about,
trying. Okay. Wait, what? There's either trying or there's not. What's the in between?
It's adoption. No, it's like, well, maybe it's like I don't know. It's just something we're thinking about. And like I've kind of always thought it'd be cool to adopt, but I mean, this is such a weird. I did not think we were going to talk about this.
See, this is the whole point of the podcast is you can go off in any which direction. But I'm actually, it's cool that you said that because I'm the same way. I don't want to have kids, but if I were to ever like get in a car accident and subject myself to some severe brain trauma and wake up and go, oh my God, I want a child. I would.
Someone kick you in the head, yeah.
Right. Oh, please, nobody kick me in the head because I don't want this future for myself. I definitely would go the route of adopting instead of trying to birth my own child. And obviously, I'm not doing the birthing, but you never know.
Well, it's only 2019, so that could happen. As far as you giving birth, but
that is okay. You make a good point.
I actually really feel like if we wanted to, we could probably do it now.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, no. I always thought like I'm not going to compare it to like adopting a cat or a dog because it's completely different, obviously, but not really.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. I mean, I feel like I would feel better taking someone who had like no opportunity and like just needed help, like not that like a kid you had wouldn't need that also, but it's like there's kids that already exist who have issues, need people, so it's like I would feel weird about bringing another person into the world when I knew I could like just help out another one, but that's just me.
And that's obviously, again, comparing it to animals, that's the same reasoning we use for people to rescue instead of buying from breeders. Is like, we already have dogs and cats who are alive that already need homes. So I'm like, well, if I was to ever think about having a kid, yeah, I would probably much rather adopt somebody who is already alive than, yeah, because, oh, geez, that whole process.
Well, that's another thing too. Like I'm not even the woman, and I'm like, that's terrifying. Like oh gosh, he's gonna kill me. But like, I don't know, hormones, right? That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Okay. Gotta be careful about that one.
she's in the other room. I think she's watching this. So what is the delay? Like 20 seconds?
4.
Running out here in a few minutes. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and see some pottery being thrown over your head and smashing against that wall.
No pottery here.
No pottery?
What are we rich? What are we, rich people? What is pottery?
Wait, do you need to be rich to have pottery?
I don't know. What's like just like plants?
Yeah. Or mugs. Well, okay.
I don't know if a mug counts as pottery, my friend.
But people make mugs on like potting. Is it a potting wheel? Is that what it's called?
The thing like from Ghost or whatever, where they're like Patrick Swayze and the woman and they're doing the thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never seen that movie.
What?
I know. Yeah.
I'm actually kind of hate you right now,
dude. It's not because of we're not that far away in age. Aren't we only like 2 or 3 years apart?
Wait, how old are you?
28.
32.
Okay, so close. Yeah.
You're a young man.
Yeah. Sort of, kind of. I'm definitely not feeling it lately.
Wait till you hit 29, and then it's like, holy shit, next year's 30, and then wait till you're 30, right? And then wait till you get halfway to 30. Like I'm about to be more than halfway to 35, and it's such a mind fuck for me.
Really?
Because that's halfway to 40, man.
See, but I don't.
35 is halfway to 40.
I really don't see 40 as that old.
I guess it's different, right? Like, I guess I compare it to my parents and like their path and their trajectory. And like,
absolutely.
It's totally different now. I mean, like, look what we're doing, and this is kind of our job.
Right. My mom had already had 3 children by the time she was 26. Wow. So if I was to follow in my parents' footsteps, I would have already had 3 kids, and one of them would have been 9. Wow. No, that doesn't make sense. 8 would have been 8.
See, I'm not doing all that math, but like I know my mom had her first kid when she was like 21, and that's like there's people who have kids even younger than like much younger than that.
Yeah, my mom was 20.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. It's just completely different now. Like, and plus, you know, it's not like people don't die as young as they used to. It's weird to say, but
we have some medical advances that have been made that allow us to give us a little bit more time, but
the RGB mostly.
I'll tell you. So my parents grew up very, very religious. They're Jehovah's Witnesses, and they still are. And so
I was going to ask you when you said they don't celebrate, but I didn't know if that was off topic or off limits.
No, nothing is off limits. Hey, we're on camera. Okay, calm down. Their life is so, I don't want to say boring, because that's kind of mean. It's very minimal. It's such a minimalistic lifestyle, because 90% of the things that the rest of the world partakes in is off limits to you. So you're just on a very straight and narrow road. And so they're just like, a lot hasn't gone. Obviously, they've gone on trips and they've traveled and they've met people. But I feel like their lives were very, very narrow because they weren't able to venture off into these other pathways, even if it didn't mean like
right.
you don't have to go visit a brothel and have sex with like 14 people in order to experience life.
I wish you'd told me that.
Oh man, you fucked all. But I just think of like I remember being at my parents' house like a couple months back, and I was my mom's asked me what I do, and I was telling her about all the things that I had done that week and the things I was planning on doing the rest of the week. And I was like, Mom, what's one of your favorite hobbies? And she like stares for a second and says, well, I don't really have any hobbies. I like to read magazines. I'm like, oh, what?
I mean, I guess that's a hobby.
It kind of is, right? Especially if
you read comic books, that's a hobby.
My fucking my webcam controller software just popped up on your screen for some reason. It was blocking. Yeah, it's gone now. That was super weird. But like, that's the thing is some people are totally okay with not having a lot going on in their life, but I can't imagine that for myself.
So what's interesting about that is I want to get your take on like, what do your parents think about what you do? Because it's not the same obviously as me, but like more and more I'm doing like the podcast and stuff. And so like, they're like, oh, they're trying to learn what it is because they're interested. Like
right.
My parents listen to our podcast for better or worse every week. And I don't know. So I don't know why, but they do. And they're probably either watching this or will watch this like on demand at some point.
Okay.
So
hi, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, I guess like what is their take on it? Because even with someone like who we had on our podcast, like Tessachka,
mm-hmm.
It's the same. Like I have the same question. It's just like, how do they do they see it as like this viable career path? Like, are we there yet, or is it still something that they're like, ooh, like, is this something that can last? Is this like, are you going to be okay when you retire? Because that's like a big thing with my parents. They're always like, what are you going to do when you retire? And I'm like, well, I'm saving money, obviously,
right,
and investing and doing all these things. But like, they just see that I have like this online store and I'm doing this podcast, and I guess they just they're worried. They're parents, man.
Well,
that's the first one.
Yeah, sure. I don't treat. Like Twitch is still a hobby for me. I don't consider it a career whatsoever. It's still just kind of like a side thing. Right. Because I have a successful career with the field that I'm in, they're just like, oh, wow, you're doing really well for yourself. So that's not necessarily a question, but me spending a lot of time playing video games, talking about like genitalia and prostitution, not the greatest.
Prostitution was like that high on the list.
It's pretty high as far as all the topics we like to touch.
Right. Wait, where are you?
Detroit.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
makes sense.
A lot of options. My parents didn't even know that I streamed on Twitch until about a year and a half ago. My mom especially is very interested in what I do because she hears me. Like, she hears my stories about going to like TwitchCon and doing meetups with people and like traveling and doing this awesome stuff.
Is she upstairs right now?
My mom, look, my mom lives with me. I don't live with my mom. Okay, there's a difference. And so she hears me talk about all the stuff. She hears me talk about the podcast and who I have on and the things that we talk about. She's super interested, but I'm like, Mom, listen. I'm very, very vulgar with my speech, and we talk about a lot of inappropriate things. And I promise I'm not snorting cocaine, or right. I'm not dealing with anything illegal, but you're just not going to be happy with what you hear from me. And I'd rather just keep you at a distance. And also it'll make me feel better if I know that you're not watching, because I'm being my genuine self. When I'm on stream, I talk about the things I want to talk about. I act the way that I want. And if I know that my Jesus loving mother is going to be watching, it's going to skew my personality just a little bit. And I want to be my genuine self.
Sure. I mean, that's why people watch you, right? So, oh my God. Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm watching the Sixers game and they just lost in the last fucking shot. Oh my god.
I thought something like your mom sent you a message like, get off the podcast.
You gotta be kidding me. The last shot of the game and they win game 7. I'm sorry. Fuck.
It's okay. It's okay. I didn't even know you were a Sixers fan. I mean, today.
I'm wearing a Miami Heat hat, which is weird, but
throwing me off a little bit.
I'm a Phillies fan. Like Philly, I can't believe that just happened. Sorry.
So sorry.
It's just like the last. Yeah, I'm not like huge into basketball, but I will say basketball, I think, has the most fun to watch playoffs.
Really?
I think so. I really do, because like someone like a LeBron James or like Kawhi Leonard, who just fucked my team, they're so good and they turn into this like other level when they're in the playoffs. And like just watching, like, it's weird. I feel like these people go into this mode that's completely different than any other sport, where they're just like so in the zone. And like, I also think basketball is probably one of the hardest sports, like just from like a cardio perspective, just back and forth, back and forth. Maybe soccer is worse, or hockey.
Oh yeah, soccer, definitely hockey. But I mean, hockey, isn't one player on the ice for no more than like 90 seconds? Isn't it like short bursts?
It can be. I think it depends. Like, you have different. I will watch the Flyers if they're like having a game and it's on TV. I couldn't tell you like their entire roster or anything like that.
Right.
But I do think that it is like short bursts. The line changes happen, and you kind of have to do it at certain points in the game, like when you're crossing halfway over, because if you don't do it, like that's where the players sit. So you don't want to have people like not on the ice, like not enough people. So then kind of puck. So it's weird in that sport because there's no like, it's not like basketball where you call timeout and switch players. You like switch them as the game's going, which is unique, I think.
Okay.
Even football, even like in between plays, or baseball.
Right. There's some resting period, at some point. My enjoyment of a sport is exclusively predicated on the environment around me. I remember I had a friend who had a dad that had season tickets, very, very nice season tickets to the Palace, which is where the Detroit Pistons used to play. Right. And so this is about a decade ago when the Pistons were super good. We had Billups, we had both Wallaces, we had Hamilton, and I think they sold out their stadium like 80 or 90 games in a row or something. Yeah, it was insane. And so going there was always a super good time. One, having it being paid for means you automatically have a good time. Stadium is packed, and you just have a good team. You have a good winning team, and it was a good time. Now, I think they're doing a little bit better now. I don't watch any sports whatsoever.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I'll go to a Tigers game, and I plan on going to a Red Wings game coming up pretty soon. But that is pretty much the extent. There's no time for me to be emotionally invested in any sort. There's just, I don't know how people love sports and stream on Twitch. It's fucking impossible.
Like, okay, I felt the same way. Like when I watched, and there's no spoilers, but like when I saw like Endgame, I was like, okay, I'm so thankful that took place over like 20 years so that I was able to take my time and like watch the movies on my own leisure.
Right.
And like get invested with the characters, like you said, the same way you might get invested in like a football team if you had the time.
Sure.
So I think in some ways it's kind of like that, where if you're super busy, like you just can't, even if you wanted to.
Right.
And I totally get that. Because then you end up like me and you're watching the game while you're on a podcast, and now I want to cry literally. the whole I'm watching the whole team is crying. It's terrible. It's a nightmare.
This isn't Final Four, is it?
No, Final Four is like, oh, you mean like this was to go into the Final Four.
Okay.
And then whoever wins that would go in the finals.
Okay.
So, but what's weird? On the subject of this, do you watch, like, I know you stream and you play games and stuff, but this might fall under that sport category. Do you watch esports?
Pretty rarely. I used to be huge into the Rocket League community. So I would watch a shit ton of Rocket League. I used to compete in their, I would say tri-annual. You know, they have like 2 or 3 championships a year. I don't. Here's a problem in my opinion with esports. Just because there is a competitive scene does not mean it's a good watch. Like I can't just watch Overwatch or League of Legends or even Apex. There's way too much shit going on. The one thing that I've always had a good time watching, even though I've never really fell in love with, is Counter-Strike, because
it's the same thing.
It's 5v5 people with guns plant the bomb or stop the other person from planting the bomb.
Right. It's simple, right?
Very.
Like TNT, like they play it, right? Like it's like one of the things they do now. They have the esports league. But today I saw Overwatch was on ABC, like at 3:00 today.
Whoa.
Like, some Overwatch tournament was happening.
Okay.
And I'm watching it and it's like, okay, yeah, this is exciting. And I've played Overwatch and I get my ass kicked. I don't play video games like I used to. Like,
right.
I started playing Fallout 4 recently. Recently. Like, that right there is a statement. And like I had to put that shit on easy. I had to put it on easy. Like I was the guy putting it on survival with Halo.
Right.
And, like, just chucking through that, game until I beat it on survival. No, I don't. It's not fun for me anymore. I want to just play the game. I want to see the story. I want to relax. I want to like just kind of experience it rather than be worried about like, fuck, my health and my ammunition and all that stuff. And when I was like in high school, I mean, well, you were similar age. When I was in high school, you were not in high school, but
you were beating kids up like me.
yeah. You were in lockers. I had a very close friend in real life, and we had a CS 1.3 clan. That's what they used. They like not guild. It was clans.
Yeah.
It was called the Sniper Syndicate, which is hilarious. Because listen, the initials, you know how you would abbreviate that shit in front of your name? So it's TSS, which is like toxic shock syndrome.
Okay, I thought you were going with SS.
No. That could have been bad too.
I was waiting for you to say so. Our whole clan was just SS stuff.
No.
Oh God.
Oh, my parents are German too.
No shit.
Yeah.
That would have been an odd coincidence.
Both sides, yeah. No, I came up with the name because I was 14 and angsty, and I was like,
yeah, dumb.
Snipers, get them. But funny story is we were really good, and back then there was, I don't think this exists anymore, but it was called Cal, and they had different leagues. So like Cal I was Cal Invitational, and that's the one everyone wanted to get into because you only could get invited into that. So we actually did, and we did one of these the whole tournament, and we got to the quarterfinals, and it was a team of all girls. Not that matters. It's just funny to the story. And they just wrecked us. Like we didn't win a single round. We just got destroyed.
Oh my God.
And
girls run the world.
Dude, they were dicks about it, honestly, because they stopped trying and they just started using weird weapons that you would never use like competitively. Like they would just be running around with Glocks and knives trying to, and it was like killing us with grenades. Like it was just.
Oh my God.
So yeah, by the time we switched sides, I was like, well, this isn't going to work. Like we're just going to camp and pray for the best. Like
I can't hang with these kids.
Oh man, I don't know how old they were. I just remember like they were probably talking shit. I don't speak the language, so I don't know, but I remember them saying stuff during it and laughing, and I was like, well, it's not nice.
Poor Josh.
Well, so we did win like $1,000, but we had to split it between like 5 people, so it was like $200. But I was 14, so it was cool.
$200 at 14 is fantastic.
But let me tell you, I got that check in the mail, and my mom and dad were like, "Is this like, where is this money from?"
Yeah, super sketch.
Yeah, and trying to like, not convince them, but just be like, "No, it's okay. Like, it's from this thing." And then they're like, "Well, so they have what kind of information on you?" And like, back then, nobody knew anything. And I guess they had a good point because like they did have a lot of information about 14-year-olds, which is weird.
You know what? Now that you put it that way, yeah, having like me being 14 and then getting a check in the mail from some agency far in the distance.
Yeah, from California, which is literally, I live in New Jersey at the time, country.
Exactly. Yeah. So that could be a little alarming. So
also, I don't even know how that's like. Oh, I guess because it's like an award. Okay, yeah,
right.
because right, that makes sense. Because I was gonna say I don't think you can work at 14 legally.
Right. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
if it's a
it's an
gift or a
award.
reward, yeah.
And then
So
speaking of, well, go ahead.
I cannot stand, like, I already can't, not that I can't stand Battle Royale, because I still have some sort of an interest in it, but watching the end of Battle Royale games where it's half of the map all in the final circle, especially in Fortnite, just watching all these people just box themselves in. It's like, what the fuck are we watching?
I can't do Fortnite. I played it 3 times and I was like, people were building walls and shit. I didn't know that game. I thought it was like more like Apex because I actually played Apex first, believe it or not. I never played Fortnite. And then people were talking about Apex and it's free. So I was like, okay, let me try that. And it was actually fun. So I said, all right, well, I should probably try Fortnite because it's also like free to play. But I'm not, no, I don't want any part of that.
You must have tried it for the first time within the past couple months.
Yeah.
When everybody was already OG and way too good at the game.
Yeah. Oh, you missed like the cutting edge or whatever. Like,
yep.
They get to a certain, and I feel like already with Apex, like I see some of these people's profiles and I'm like, what? Like, obviously I don't play nearly as much as some people who have like a kid who is on summer break and they got nothing else to do. Like, I would have done the same shit, obviously. Right. But I can't do that. And like, it hit me literally, man. It hit me when I just started playing Fallout 4, which is hilarious. I'll probably play Skyrim next.
Yeah, dude, Skyrim. Make sure you mod that shit.
Yeah. Well, I found out so the Xbox One has the mod. I didn't know that, so I was messing around with that too with Fallout 4. But so I was getting my ass kicked at this one part, and I was frustrated. And my wife's like, "Well, why are you playing it if it pisses you off?" Which is like such a complicated question.
It really is.
She was watching me play like Sekiro, and that's like a whole nother just like mind fuck of a game that doesn't have a difficulty slider.
Right.
So I would get tired, and then I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck this. I just want something where I can go shoot some people. I'll build a settlement, whatever. Like, and then I was getting my ass kicked in that game too. And I'm like, come on, like,
really?
Am I really this bad now? Like, I can't. Like, what's happening? So yeah, I put that shit on easy, and I was like, oh, much better. Like,
now I'm good.
Yeah. Now I'm awesome. Like, literally the first Deathclaw you fight, which is like right at the beginning of the game.
Right. Yeah. First and foremost.
Yeah. You get the power armor. You jump down. That dude was trashing me big time.
They are strong.
At the beginning of the game too. I'm like, well, and then what I did was I spent all the minigun ammo on the fucking people. So I had nothing for that guy. So what I end up doing is just like running around, like baiting him out, taking a pot shot, throwing grenades, running back inside till he reset. And I'm like, I'm cheesing a boss. Fallout 4, it's not even a boss. Like,
right.
It's just
a like strong NPC.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna put it on easy. And then I think he still beat my ass a couple times, and then I finally did it. But it's not fun for me to do that anymore. It was when I was a kid. I felt like it was a challenge.
Right.
And I feel like that's a thing. Like, maybe when you're growing up, you have things you put more weight into and they're more important to you. And you also don't have as much going on. I mean, we're all young. That's obvious. Like, when you get older, there's like way more shit going on. So
yep. Unless you shut out everything in your life.
Well, it should be so great, but I'd have no money, and I think your RGB is giving me a seizure, dude.
Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to be turning that off when I do the podcast. My bad. Salty Sam! And that's the other... Oh, did they just... Alexa, Echo, turn on streaming in Office. I froze them in time. There we go.
Alexa, turn living room on.
Okay.
Huh?
Hey, there you go. It's nighttime. Your frame rate just fucking tanked.
Alexa, living room on.
Isn't it great having somebody be able to turn on your lights and shit?
Well, here's the funny thing. So I always joke, because we have people downstairs who are from India, really nice people, and I always I don't think they know our names. Like, we've met, but I don't think we've ever like actually exchanged like names or whatever. But I'm constantly like, when Alexa pisses me off, I'm like, fuck you, Alexa, or like, why are you so fucking stupid? And it's like, my wife's not even home. She's at work. and I'm yelling Alexa, and they must think my wife's name's Alexa, and I'm just trashing her.
Oh my God. I've had somebody call the cops on me.
For real?
Yeah, like I was live streaming, playing Rocket League, just screaming my head off at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had my window open, and my neighbor called in a domestic abuse, and cops showed up, and I'm like, I live alone, man.
Handcuffed?
No, they didn't even come inside.
Yeah, because if there was no if there's no person, did you tell them they couldn't come in? Were you like one of?
No, well, here's the thing. There's a window right here. Yeah, come on in, bitch. Get your warrant. Yeah,
where's the warrant?
No, I can. So my window was open. My blinds were opened, and so they could see me. They were probably watching me for 15, 20 seconds.
Hell yeah, taking videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, kid on internet.
Not like that.
Oh, that's where my dirty mind goes. Sorry, mom and dad.
See, oh no, dude. I didn't curse in front of my parents until I was like 25.
I still can't curse in front of my parents. I get the Nicholas or the look or just like the stern face. Like, Jesus Christ.
Did you know my middle name's Nicholas?
No.
Yeah, I have 2 middle names. It's not like a people when I say that people think it's like the religious thing where you take a name or whatever. I don't know. But it's not. They gave me 2 middle names, each of my grandfathers. So it's I'm not going to say it, but
yeah,
one of them's and.
Which is crazy because my brother's name is Josh.
Okay. Yep. So, yeah, he must be handsome too.
Yeah, more than I.
Yeah, so when I was 25, I started, and it was like, I would just drop it like a little one, just like, oh shit. Like while we were golfing or something, just to see.
Right.
You know, and golfing's a really good like place to do it because like understandably it's an agitating game.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So and then like my dad was like didn't budge. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I curse a lot. I just who I am. Like my wife and I curse back and forth. We love the shit out of each other, but like I'll be like, do the fucking dishes or like whatever. It's a joke though. Like it's like we know it's a joke and she says stuff back to me and it's like it's just how we are. And I think like the first time people hang out like with us, they're always like, are you safe? Like,
right. Like, blink twice if you're in danger.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, okay, I don't want to get too off. Like, I forget what we're talking about, but I actually did have that happen one time.
There's no such thing as off topic, so just go with
it. Well, we were in line at Subway. I like Subway. I like the veggie patty. It's good.
Okay.
And get it with some Chipotle sauce. It's phenomenal.
Chipotle and mayo together is one of my go-tos. Yes.
Oh, dude. And if you do it on tuna, even better. Trust me. Just do it one time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. One time, because someone at Subway suggested it to me, and I was like, "That's weird," but I tried it. Trust me.
Okay. All right.
It's delicious. But anyway, and so it was either Subway or like Qdoba. But anyway, we were in like one of those queue.
It's a big difference.
No, the food is not a question. It was just like it's one of those things where they build it in front of you.
Got you. So okay.
My wife was next to me, and like I forget what she was saying, but I said something like I forgot we were outside, and I was like, "I'm just gonna smack you in the face," or something like a joke.
Yeah.
And the person behind Subway, or whatever, was like horrified, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Like I started apologizing, and of course that's what a fucking abuser would do, obviously.
Right.
So
right.
It's not like I didn't save face. And I was like, listen, you could talk to my wife by herself if you want to. I don't know why, but I needed a Subway person to know I didn't I'm not that kind of person. So yeah, we don't go to that Subway anymore.
At all. So you just can't go back.
I'm just afraid. I feel like I'm going to get arrested.
I mean, that's kind of how that's the thing is people, I can't stand people that see swearing as like a sign of like a degrading character, they're just words. They're words.
Even being vulgar. Like I don't find it vulgar at all. It's
right.
It's how you can be vulgar and curse, of course. But you can curse and it's not vulgar too. Like
right.
Just like I can say something to you really vulgar that has no curse words in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but I'm coming up blank. But there are.
If you were to ask your parents what was worse, fuck or cunt, what do you think they would say?
Cunt, 100%.
I don't understand that.
It's because it's just, I think it's viewed, it's, and rightly so, it's viewed like disparagingly to women. And so I think there's like that part that is also, where like fuck is also kind of like, you can use it so many different ways, right? There's that song where like you can literally make a sentence with just the word fuck. Or
Right.
like, or there's another one too with the word like buffalo, which is really weird. It's like, have you seen that? It's like 12,
No.
it's the word buffalo to like 12 times. It's an actual sentence. It's so weird because it's a verb. People don't realize it's weird. Whatever. Anyway,
Buffalo is a verb?
yeah, it can be. It's what they do when they move. They buffalo. I'm
Are
serious.
you fucking with me?
I swear. Listen, I don't. Where do you want me to paste it? I'll find the sentence.
Throw it in chat because I saw you drop that Twitch Prime, so you're good for links.
Okay. Well, let me get back on here. We'll keep. So ask me something else while
I'm still like, I guess that I understand there's like the gender kind of infrastructure of the word
That's
itself.
the only thing I can think of that would make that word work. Honestly, I like, maybe also maybe it's just because it's like so much less in the zeitgeist. Like I don't hear cunt nearly as often as I hear fuck, and maybe it's just that.
But that's because everybody doesn't understand that they're the same.
How are they?
They're all just words. That's the only thing that I have is that they're all just words.
I mean, that's fair. Here, I'm gonna dump this link. You ready? You guys aren't even ready for.
I can't even say hell around my parents, and that pisses me off. Buffalo, 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 buffalo.
Yeah, if you look at the page, it explains like how it's actually a sentence. Man, you got me zoomed in a lot. Like, zoom me out, motherfucker. What is that?
That's what I'm seeing on your camera right now.
Oh, it's like. All right, whatever.
I'm telling you, dude.
All right, whatever. I had to shave. I shaved today for you, man.
Why did you do that? I was really looking forward to the face pubes.
It's bad, dude. It was face. Like I don't grow hair well. Like we were talking in the podcast, how things happen when you get older.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad. It just ends up like. But the problem with working at home primarily is like I have no one to impress.
Exactly.
I mean, I want to impress my wife, obviously.
You impress her in other ways.
I impressed her, and that's why we're married. I feel like it's over now. Like that part's done. Like I've won that game, you know. But yeah, that buffalo, that shit's for real. That's a real sentence. I'm
gonna start calling people buffalo cunts.
I want to image Google that. I don't also want to.
That's a great idea. I'm actually I'm curious. I better do this in incognito mode.
Do you worry about incognito mode, like for ads or for people who might be on your computer?
Oh no, really what it comes down to is if I ever search anything on stream while I'm doing screen cap, I don't want buffalo cunt to be in like my most recent. Wait a minute. Okay, cunt buffalo Urban Dictionary. A large and annoying woman can be cunt, can be more cunt or more buffalo. All right, this is degrading. I'm not going to finish reading that one, but apparently that's the thing.
You see, degrading. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, the definition was degrading, not necessarily being a buffalo cunt. I mean, I guess I would see like Jabba the Hutt could be a buffalo cunt, right?
Yeah, that's a perfect example. I feel like a big slug guy. Yeah,
buffalo cunt.
But yeah. I have no idea what we were even talking about.
Well, then we'll segue into one of the main reasons I had you on the podcast, because I want to learn about your past, brother. So what I want you to do is take a second to say, like, who you are. I want to know about your business venture. I want to know, like, where it started and how you got to where you are. What inspired you to get into what you are in now. I want to hear your story from the beginning, because it's something that I know absolutely nothing about. So hit me with it.
I don't think anybody really knows the story.
Yes.
So
content.
I like went to college. I went digital media, which is like just animation, web design, kind of stuff, video game design, things like that. They basically just like make sure you understand the concepts, and like it's less about the current software because the software always changes. It's just more about like, oh, you got that vape shit? Okay.
Yeah, dog, vape nation.
I quit smoking by vaping, so
good shit, man. I think we had this conversation. I can't remember. Okay.
So I did, I graduated and took a job. Like I worked in higher education for a while, which sucked. It was just like they say higher education and like government are the worst because there's just so much red tape. Like if there's something wrong with like I was a web designer, and if there was something wrong, it was like I had to go through 18 people and get all these signatures, and it's like like for like literally like one word on a page, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
whoa.
I have to do all this, just like the fucking dean of the school has to approve this. Like it's a clear like spelling mistake. Like why does he need to approve this? So everything was like that, and I bounced. I went from like one. I actually worked at the college that I graduated from, and then I went to another nearby college for a few years, and then like I parlayed that experience into like a higher level job at my first place that I worked at. So then I came back as like a senior web developer.
Okay.
And I did like at that point, I was just kind of like managing people, and I wasn't as hands on with the stuff anymore, which sucked because that's what I like doing.
And that's what my first question was going to be. Is that something you liked or didn't like? And based on your job now.
Yeah. Well, so what I did like was we hired a lot of student workers, which I thought was cool. And I always really enjoyed interviewing and just like, because everything changes so fast. And it's like, it's interesting to hire student workers who are learning now the same stuff you learned, but it's different because it's been X amount of years.
Common Core math.
Right. Well, but like, I mean, like, so when I was in college, I learned how to do like program Flash, Adobe Flash, which is like, what's the point now, right?
Useless now, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's more like the way I look at programming is like if you understand the concepts of like how it works, you can pretty much teach yourself to learn any language.
For sure.
So I didn't look at it as like wasted time, but like that's what I mean, like just the different stuff and how they approach it differently. And some people are more like technical minded, and some people are more design minded.
Yep.
And so finding a good balance was always like I liked that part of the job, and I liked mentoring like the younger kids because they would often like use me as references and ask me, just like, okay, what should I do when I graduate? So that was cool. So then I was like, okay, this part's cool. I want to teach. So I was actually an adjunct professor for a bit at my alma mater, where I taught advanced interactivity, which is like web design, ActionScript, which was, again, like this was years ago. So it was still like, wasn't stupid to learn. Like if you're pretty, like if you're teaching yourself ActionScript now, I don't know why.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, and then like from there, I was like, I did conferences, I spoke at those things, like, and that's fun. You'd be surprised how I probably shouldn't even say this, but hi, mom and dad. You'd be surprised how like debaucherous those things are. Like
really?
Yeah. Like I went to one, and I don't want to say the name because I don't want to get a cease and desist or whatever. But I went to one, and I'll just say it was in Florida. It was like at the nicest hotel you could possibly, if you just Google nicest hotel, like you'll see what it is. I don't want to say it, but there was fucking man. I'm not talking about me, man. I was engaged at the time.
Oh,
like,
okay.
The people that I went with, it was like a switch was flipped once they got there, and they were different people, and it was like that's what the conferences like kind of were about for some people. And I was like, wow, that's interesting, because like if you think about it, it's perfect, right? You would like go away from your family, and you got the perfect cover of work and like all that. It sounds really bad for me, but it's got nothing to do with my life. I just noticed this stuff happening, and well, like people that I was like, wow, like people I thought I knew, and I was like, holy shit,
or even looked up to.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, after that, I was like, all right, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like,
wow, so that was kind of the straw that broke it.
Yeah, just because I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right. It was just like the last thing, because it was like one of the only things that I still enjoyed about it. And like there was budget cuts. So like we were hiring less of the student workers. So that part was like dwindling down. The course that I was teaching was no longer being taught, obviously, because Flash is gone.
Right.
And so, the whole like the whole higher ed thing like winded down basically, and I was like, you know what, this is now people, like you said, people I looked up to or like had a mentorship with, like I'm looking at them different, and I'm like, ugh, like everyone does bad things, but I mean, like
Right.
I don't see all of it.
Right.
Like,
When you see it intertwined with like your day-to-day life,
yeah,
it's like, oh man. I spent before this current job, I spent the job before, 6+ years working in education, but in charter schools
oh, okay.
where it's just fueled by cash. That's all everybody cares about. Underpaid teachers, overzealous management, and then just people who are just chasing the dollar sign and not
And
actually.
that's the part that kills me, man, is the underpaid teachers. That's the worst part. I hate it, like, because I saw it, and like, you know, it's the worst part is when you meet a teacher who's like, or a like professor, teacher, whatever. It's the same in this context, same. But when you meet someone and you know that they're like an awesome person, and you know that they care about the kids, because they will stay longer than they need to. They're not getting paid for that shit, like because they're a union job, so you get paid for X amount, and like that's it. There's no overtime, all that stuff. So all this stuff they're doing is like extra, and they don't have to be doing it. And then you see someone like that just getting like fucked around or fired, and just because someone has tenure because they were there longer, they stay, and they're like the worst person possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just the real sour taste in my mouth, and I don't even know why I got into higher ed. It was just because like that was the first job.
Hey man, and sometimes that's what sets us on our path and moves us forward. Is like, oh, well, this is better than high school and it pays, so I guess I'm going in this direction.
Right. Yeah, I can afford to live in. This must be right. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Then, like as you get older, I guess it's like I don't know. You start to just like, not to say money's not an issue. Money's always an issue. It's an issue, but you start to like appreciate things that you didn't before, and like life kind of, I don't know, life beats you down and then it picks you back up, and it just, like you said, it just puts you on this track, and you have no idea. Like you think I knew 10 years ago, like I had this conversation with you, like,
Right, dude. I mean, fuck, 10 years ago.
isn't that so weird? Like, and now we're just talking, like, it's just strange.
See, that's why I'm so incredibly excited for my 30s. I am genuinely excited to be 30 plus.
That's awesome, man.
There's so much time, so many things to do. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm making more money now than I did 10 years ago. So obviously there's more responsibility with that. But being somebody who has like pursued a career, it enables you to do a lot of different things. And for me, having a day job that I love, and based on what you do with your job and how I see you talk about it and how I see you engage with your community, I can tell that you love what you do as well.
Absolutely.
And that sets the tone for I am a firm believer that what you do and your happiness levels that come from your day job, that sets the tone for the rest of your life. And I don't mean like until you're 80, but like everything outside of work is directly affected by what happens during those 8 hours of the day.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And it's weird because I've actually probably, at least in my circle, friends and family, heard the opposite, where they're like, oh, try not to let work affect your personal life. And it's like, that's a fucking stupid thing to say. Like, I'm there for 8 hours, like, and then I sleep for 8 hours. So I literally have this 8 hour, chunk where I'm like half falling asleep and half like, of course, I'm just like thinking about everything at work and stressing about it. And I guess for me, it was always like, well, I'm stressing about all this stuff. It's like not even for me. Like I don't have a personal stake in like most of the stuff that I'm doing. I don't get to do it the way I want to do it. I don't get to do it the way it should be done. Like I have to take, design advice or development advice from people like English majors. And I don't mean like that it's a bad thing to be an English major. I just mean get the fuck out of here with
it's
that.
not your thing.
Like, I'm not gonna proofread your fucking papers. Like, so don't come in here and tell me how I should be doing this. But that's just how it is. And like the longer you were there, the pull you had, regardless. It was just like it was always to get to the next tier, right? It was like,
Right.
okay, how do I use this job to get to the next job? And I feel like a lot of, unfortunately, and I was doing it too. Like until I said to myself, like, you're doing this, and even my wife, like, I think goes through this sometimes, like, you're doing it and it's not for you. It's not like yours. So when I got like involved with the keyboards and everything, I like, at least when I go to bed now and I don't dread waking up, which is the worst feeling I could ever like. I hope people never have to feel that, like dreading going to work, because it sucks. Because it's like affects the 8 hours of you get it affects the 8 hours of like time you get it. Like you said, it affects everything.
Right.
Just because. So how could someone say don't let it bother you, or like compartmentalize that? Like I can't do that. There's no way I could do that.
No.
Yeah, it seems like you couldn't either, and I so that's why I get it. And so for me, like now when I go to bed, I'm like I can't wait to get up and like work on like making this better.
Absolutely.
And that shit, it's hard at first because people don't know you, and you're just kind of like you're new, and like maybe you didn't pick the best name for your store, and like maybe.
Do you believe that you don't chose a good name?
Okay, well, so the story behind the domain is I was big on just like combining stuff. So I had a web company really quickly in college with some friends, and it was called Big Red Panda, which I thought was like the coolest name ever. BRP, sweet.
Burp.
And burp, yeah, and memorable, right? I thought like you wouldn't forget that. It's Big Red Panda, like. So the original thing I was gonna do with SpaceCat design was like a web development thing, and I had like a lot of talks with my wife, like, is this something you want to do? And I've always done freelance for people. You kind of can't not do freelance, like, because everyone wants websites. So
Oh, right.
yeah,
So much
it's
work.
like my aunt and uncle need a website for some reason, like whatever. But and so around that time I was just really thinking, and like I had put myself in a position where I had time. Like not that money wasn't a concern, but like I had some time because of the hard work that I had done previously to think about the rest of my life.
Right.
And so I was, I remember I was probably in bed browsing Reddit one night, like during all of this, and I saw like a keyboard pop up in like R all, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
That's how
I
it
had no
starts.
Yeah, I was like, like, how do you get a keyboard like that? Like, that's so weird, like, and it was probably like Miami or something, because that's like always the one people see first, I think. And
Yep. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
that's one of the first ones that I saw.
right, because it's popular for a reason. People like it, and I like it. I have a custom acrylic case made from Strata KB plug with a big SpaceCat engraved on the bottom.
What?
Yeah, it's dope.
Do you have pictures of this anywhere?
I can literally, if I could be off camera for a second, I could
go for it, dude. Because I think you're wireless. You could just talk and jerk, or I mean, talk and walk.
Talk and jerk. I am talking, but I'm not on camera. I'm grabbing it.
That was, that was one of the first keycap sets I bought, was the Tai Hao Miami key set.
Oh, I love Tai Hao because they're cheap, and like, but that's a very unpopular. People think they just steal.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about these elitist keyboard warrior cunts. Yeah, I said cunts.
It's not untrue. These buffalo cunts. So there's the keyboard. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And then so like it's like.
Wait a minute. Are yours SAs?
Yeah, I have SA Miami.
What? Wow, dude, that's sex.
Check this out.
Bro, okay, that is awesome.
Right?
Is there a dip switch on the back of it?
Yeah.
Really? What keyboard is that?
This is kind of a mistake. I shouldn't have used it. The PCB it's an RGB 60, and it's like a Chinese made PCB that like mimics the GH60, but it uses like bootmapper, or is it bootmapper? Bootmapper instead of QMK to flash.
Oh, yeah.
Like the key mappings. It's not a great PCB, so the board doesn't get used a whole lot. It's more for show anyway. Like I have it on a stand where you can see the logo instead of the actual caps. But yeah, dude, and you know what's funny? SA Miami's not expensive. It's only like $100.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
Now max key. It's a max key set, not signature plastic, so it's much cheaper.
Ah, okay. And is it still PBT?
It's ABS.
Okay. Still looks really solid.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not too many PBT like SA. I mean, there are some. Like I know Ice Caps is PBT, which shocked the hell out of me because I thought it was ABS because it feels like ABS. It's weird.
And what I have found through my extremely amateur journey of keyboards is that ABS, the way ABS keycaps feels is 100% dependent on the plate that the switches are. Like if you have a metal plate, you can make ABS feel like PBT, no problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think so much has to do with the plate and also, you know, I got to start lubing things in general.
My man.
Yeah, I've been like raw dogging it with these switches, man. I don't know. Like everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you gotta lube them, gotta lube them."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that seems like a lot of work.
It really does. And so, as you know, like I'm still pretty noobish. I've been in the game for probably less than 6 months. I have a good like tight knit group of dudes in my Discord. And I have two guys in particular.
In your Discord. What the fuck?
What the fuck? How was I able to send you a message? I don't even remember.
You friended me, which we weren't even friends before this. You did.
That's right. Two dudes, Nitpick and Cthulhu, who just kind of found. I think they both came in during a macro board building stream, and they've just been hanging out ever since. And they have been like opening up my eyes to all things keyboard. And my favorite part is they know what the good shit is, but they aren't like elitist gatekeeper keyboard fans, which are my favorite people to have around.
It's and honestly, like that was if I'm gonna be honest, and I will because there's no reason not. That was a huge thing for me starting because I was like, so after I saw that, just to go back to the story. So after I saw that keyboard, it was like just put a little bug in my ear. Yeah, get that vape. And is it flavored or are you a man and it's tobacco? Or is it like
anybody who fucking vapes and has tobacco flavored liquid? You're fake news. That's all I got to say. Yeah,
I did it with menthol tobacco because that's what I smoked.
Now that if you're somebody who's trying to quit smoking, go for it. Whatever will help you smoke or quit. That's what a terrible slip. Do what you got to do. But for anybody who's just getting into vaping because they want to vape, but it's berry lemonade and it's fucking delicious.
I do miss it. I'll reel off topic. I still wake up and I'm like, fuck, man, I want a cigarette.
Dude,
I quit 10 years ago.
It
I
never
didn't
leaves
smoke that much. It's literally like I've heard people who like are recovering from much harder things say that it is like not to say that it's worse than those things or the withdrawals or anything like that, but these people have actually said to me like the cigarette thing never goes away. You can kind of like you just can't. There's some I don't know if nicotine, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like I don't know what it does up here, but it's awesome, but also really bad.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
But so yeah, the vaping was good because it did help me stop. But
I only smoked for like 3 months, and still, it's probably
start smoking.
It was probably 17, 18.
Okay. I didn't start till I was like 21. 22.
Oh, okay. It was like so. I left the Jehovah's Witness organization and I moved out of my house within the same month. So it was time to party. So I was doing all the things. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's take up smoking. American spirits, baby.
They're safe. They're
right. They're safer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So like, and still to this day, I still get cravings to smoke cigarettes. It never goes away.
Well, see, for me, I was big into cloves, which I know, but not the shitty ones they sell now because the real good ones are illegal now because they're flavored cigarettes. So that's when I was like, well, fuck it. I mean, I can't get these anymore, so I'll just vape and I'll get clove juice, and it was the same thing.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, well, that stuff was so delicious too, man. Whatever. If you put a pack, oh my god.
Stop thinking about it.
If you put a pack in front of me right now, I there's no doubt about one.
It's like obviously vaping doesn't really. Do you still vape?
I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
That's probably for the better, right?
Yeah, I don't. If I just need to keep things away from my mouth.
Right. Do you see? And that's the thing. And I used to, even now, when I'm done eating and I sit back, it's like, okay, where's the vape? It's
Right.
this weird, like after eating craving that I get.
It's like the ritual of it. That's the hardest part, because when I would smoke, it was a whole thing. It was like, go get the pack, go get the lighter, go on the patio, put my nice slippers on, sit down, light this fucking citronella candle. I had a whole thing, man. And then just like, clove it up.
Routine,
Clove it up.
dude.
And that's the hardest part. So what they say is like to just keep like, what I did was I kept the routine, but I switched it with the vaping. And then like after that, I was just like, I would try to have like a toothpick in my mouth or something. Chewing gum is another thing they say.
Yeah.
It's like this oral fixation that people have. But
it's real.
If you want to get back to the SpaceCat story.
Yeah, stop going off topic.
Sorry. You've heard our podcast. You know I can't help it.
That's why I love it.
So that first keyboard, the Miami, put that little bug in my ear, and I was like, must be expensive, right? And that was an important thought, like for me at the time, because I was like, this, reading through the comments, and they're like, oh, okay, it's this board. I don't know what any of this shit means, like switches, like what the hell is that? But then they like, I'm clicking the links, and I'm just trying to get like a ballpark of like how much it would cost, and I'm like, holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow. My keyboard cost $3, and I could do the same thing you could do with it.
Right.
I didn't know that at the time. Like, so then I added it. Then I subscribed to mechanical keyboards, right? And then once you do that, it's over. That's that's like the first shot of like some kind of drug. Just anything.
Dude, yeah. It's straight to the veins, because every time you hit Reddit, they haunt you. You just see, like, you think that you have your favorite keyboard in mind, and then you see a board that you've never seen before, and you go, whoa, that's fucking cool. Yeah. And I want that. How much is it?
Oh, it's only $1,200.
Okay, please tell me.
$600 key set.
Right. Things are ridiculously expensive for no reason.
So listen, that's what I wanted to get to. So like, I mean, we can jump forward. Like, I ended up not doing the web design thing, obviously. I really like the domain name though. So I was like, because I love my cat. They're hoping one of them would come over here. They're just sleeping on both sides of me. But so I was like, now I think there's like an opportunity here, like to start a business that caters like for keyboards, but also like for budget, like budget stuff. And that was a big hurdle, because a lot of people felt like, I guess, some of the stuff that I sold or whatever, because it was like cheaper sets or cheaper caps that weren't, like you said, like the super expensive stuff, like, I guess, tainted the hobby or something like that. Or like there was a certain standard, and like some of the stuff I sold was like below a standard. And like I got a lot of like, I got doxxed at the time. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I had to talk to the mechanical keyboard like administrators, and they didn't. I mean, I have nothing bad to say. They can't really do anything. It came from like a anonymous thing, but it had my information, so I was like, fuck. But then I realized, like, well, it's really not hard to find out about me, honestly, because the stuff I did before.
Right.
Like, now I'm a little P.O. box. I don't use my full name, stuff like, you learn this stuff. But I mean,
I got screenshots.
For real though, like if you ordered from me for the first 6 months, it was coming from my home address, and like it never occurred to me like that's stupid.
Right.
Because like if you're
it's a new world.
Off, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. When I got those messages, I'm like, are you kidding? I'm just trying to like make this accessible for people. Like you said, Tai Hao. Like I carried some Tai Hao sets. I carried some of those. I don't know how to say the name, but they're like the Felicia die subsets. They're really nice, but they're cheaper.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. Like stuff is like artificially inflated in price. Definitely like in the artisan world.
Oh yeah.
Like I get that though, because it's art.
Some of those where they're doing the extreme like miniature landscapes inside of a single, that shit is insane. Is it Joyla Studio or
you think of Jelly Keys?
There's Jelly Keys, and then there's Maybe it's Jelly Keys, but they have a different name for.
I have a bunch of the coral reef caps from Jelly Keys. I love
those. They're fucking amazing.
I know.
That is art.
I am missing one of them, and I'm so bummed. If anybody has the marshmallow raspberry one, please. I may overpay.
Joy. Okay, so Joy Hut Studio is Jelly Key. Okay. Yeah, I mean those are some of the coolest keycaps that I've ever seen in my life.
And it's and I'm not saying like if someone wants, like, I have no problem with anyone. Customer's always right. People, they actually, I think a lot of people don't actually know what that saying is. It doesn't mean like if customers bitching at you, they're just right. It actually means if they're buying it, you should be selling it, because that's how they're right, because they're willing to pay. So yeah, I totally get that. I have no problem with someone if they're selling it and they're making their career off of it. Awesome, great. That's what I'm trying to do too. I just have, my market is different. That's all.
Right.
Like, and of course, I think it's probably changed a bit now. Like, I put a bunch of stuff up today that's like, I would definitely not say they're not budget, but like they're still pretty inexpensive comparatively.
I thought so when I looked at all the prices. I'm like,
I mean, you have to put it all together, which is the downside.
Right.
It's, I guess some people sell them all put together and they cost more, but that's not, I'm trying to hit the people who want to like start in this hobby, who want to get their hands dirty with it. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to like learn. I never soldered in my, so this was like, it was all very new to me. I burnt the shit out of myself a few times. Like, one time I smelled chicken and I was like, huh. And then I looked down and I still have this huge scar from it. Because it was, listen, because, okay, so you know how your hands get calloused? And it's
yes.
like you don't really feel it. So I like was touching the side of like the soldering iron station, and I was just like, it smells like meat or something.
Oh my God.
And I looked down and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that was my reaction.
That's a massive callus. Holy shit.
Yeah, you know what's awesome? The callus is gone though. Like,
you burnt that shit off.
Oh yeah, my God. After that, I was much more careful. I got like the mask, I got the solder fume extractor, all that stuff.
Well, dude, the reason what you just stated is the exact reason why my first soldering keyboard job ever was a launch pad, was because like
that's awesome to hear, man. Honestly, that's like the coolest thing ever. I really think that, and that was one of the things with the launch. Definitely, like, okay, like in this hobby, like we were like, should we do it on board? Because if we do it on board, it'll be more expensive, but people won't have to solder as much if like just switches. Or we could have done hot swap, like could have done all these things, but instead we were like, you know what, let's just make a kit that has all the parts. It'll be as cheap as possible, so like you don't feel terrible if you fuck it up. Like the PCB itself, like I don't right now because I don't have enough, but I used to just sell the PCB for $10, and I'll probably do that again.
Okay.
Order them instead of the whole kit.
Right.
So if you messed it up, it was like $10, and like, it was just like something people, and soldering a Pro Micro, I thought was very important because it's such a big part of so many of these builds.
Yep.
So that's why I was like, no, you know what? Let's do the Pro Micro. Let's risk it. The first order of launch pads I did, I was so scared. I ordered like, I don't know, 50 maybe. It wasn't even a lot. And I put it on Reddit, and like the launch pad, I think, is what kind of really kicked off SpaceCat like into somewhat of the, I don't know, the game.
Yeah, the game, bro.
And they sold out in 2 days. So I was like, oh shit, I really should have ordered more. like this is money I missed out on. So then I ordered a lot more. And from there, that's just what we try to do. Like you'll never see like us run like a super expensive group buy, or like the Collide 39 group buy. That I thought that was pretty reasonably priced. The cases obviously were a little bit more. We didn't make the cases, but even that, I think the board was still sub $100 easily.
The prices of acrylic are still high, and justifiably so. It's expensive material, so like I don't really see that changing. But I'm trying to remember what came first. I want to say that what brought me to your website was a post by Clavier on Reddit that was
The cases. Yeah.
Yep. So I saw a clear acrylic case, and it was like a blue and pink radiant blank keycaps, and I saw that and I went, what? And I had already been like a macro slut at that point, but I had never built any of my only.
It taught me about those like relegible. Did you see the thing I put on Instagram with the Collide 39?
Yep.
Love that thing now.
Yeah, dude.
Shortcuts.
You can.
Great.
I don't know if this is in frame. If you can see the. So I took an Elgato Stream Deck stand, and then I put the Sweet 16 on that. So that's kind of like my dedicated Discord and media key macro
That's
pad.
cool.
But
I use mine for like Photoshop shortcuts and.
It's amazing for it.
I love it. Yeah, and the little stickers too are great because you can print whatever.
Dude, so okay, speaking of elitists, I had this run in on Reddit the other day.
I'm sure. Yeah, there's a lot of
I can't remember where.
Not a lot.
Sure, it's okay.
As with any like hobby, I think especially the nichier, is that a word?
Sure, the nichist.
The more nichey it gets, the more you're gonna have separation. And like this community is definitely like there are cliques,
right?
For sure. Like I don't know if you know, like because you said you're kind of like fish 6 months. Like I don't know if you've noticed that yet, but there's like cliques of people who tend to work together. Like obviously, I work with Maple Computing and Kibio. So you start to see like, okay, this group of people like, and they typically do these things, and this group of people typically does these things, and I don't know where I was going with that, but I think it's pretty cool.
I'm not that involved with the community as a whole. Just because like I'm already involved in an online community, and it's really hard to be involved in two at the same time.
Are you talking about like your own?
Yeah, like so like my community and then Twitch as a whole. I'm in a bunch of different keyboard oriented Discords, but it's impossible to spend time, like be active in them. Like I check them out all the time. I love when, companies are pushing out different products, and I love watching other people post their completed boards in each Discord. But any more involvement than that, it's impossible. There's no time.
Well, I'm probably in 30 Discord, and like I barely have time to check mine and the off the clack one. Like the off the clack one gets slacked on a lot. We have my mods and my SpaceCat design. I love every single one of them. Like, they're like the best people. I can't thank them enough for like helping me.
Right.
I try to give back as like much as I can to them. And speaking of which, I do owe a couple of them some Collide 39. So I'm glad I remembered that. Thank you. Yeah. And, but yeah, it's impossible. It's hard. Like it's hard enough because I get enough customer emails, and I don't want to be like the vendor who's like, so just for some background, like if I sell something, I will build it first. Like everything I sell, I have a build. So like this last batch of PCBs, the reason it took me so long from the time I got it, the time that I put them on the store, was because I wanted to build one of all, just to make sure. So I'm familiar like with the process. Someone emails me, even though like, I don't know that that's technically like my job to like walk everyone through it. Like I'm certainly trying to do that with the YouTube video right now.
For sure.
Which I saw, I don't know if it was you, someone just subscribed. Thanks, whoever that was.
I did today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I have like 8 people. But that, so my goal there is to just try to alleviate some of the more work that I get, which is like just trying to help people, because I don't want to sell people stuff and then like they make one little mistake and I won't help. And maybe it was just like there was solder on the. So I'm always like, all right, just take a picture of it, send it to me. Obviously, I can't tell you for sure what the problem is, but I'll look at it.
Right.
I'll send it to my moderators to look at, and I'll always try to get back to the person. It might not be like the same day because I do try to get a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel weird about selling something if I don't know how it works.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I know I could just like get all these, sell them and be like, all right, you YOLO.
Have fun.
Right. But I like to, well, plus I just like, it's fun. Like I have so many keyboards now and it's kind of ridiculous. I thought my Funko Pop collecting was bad, but
Oh man, but now with the keyboards going.
yeah, they can't afford this, man.
Right. So about that elitist issue I had on Reddit. So
yeah.
I can't remember where I was, but I think I was asking about a keyboard because I needed to replace that's what it was.
You should ask me, dummy.
What? About keyboards?
Whatever the question was.
I never want to I don't want to send people like one-on-one questions, especially people that have Discords where I can ask questions. Like I never just want to be like, oh hey, yeah, I'm like we've talked once before, so I'm gonna send you messages whenever I have a question when it could be answered by like a group of people because you're running a fucking business.
Yeah, but like nobody thinks like so. Don't even worry.
Okay, everybody just sends you no matter what.
Oh my god, I'm like when I go on this vacation, I know when I come back, I'm gonna have like my Discord thing's gonna be 99 plus.
99 plus.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, oh, like,
time to get back to work.
Yeah, and it like hopefully it'll just be like 5 people, really really antsy, but probably not.
Where you at?
Yeah, where you at? But so you're asking help for keyboard and what? Someone like
okay. I had posted a picture of the most recent macro pad I built, and in the background was a membrane wireless Logitech keyboard that had a trackpad built in. And everyone's like, what the fuck is with that membrane? I'm like, dude, it's for a TV. I just use it. It's wireless and I use it for the TV when I'm sitting at my craft table. And I'm like, okay, recommend me a keyboard that is like, why don't you have a mechanical? I'm like, okay, recommend me a keyboard that is mechanical and has either a trackpad or a trackball. And somebody's answer was, well, you know that QMK supports mouse. I'm like, who the fuck wants to operate a mouse with a keyboard? Fucking nobody.
How does that work? Like when you used to aim in Doom with page up and page down?
Something like that. Yeah, like, yeah, you can just like, if you want to use J, I, K, and L for mouse directions, you can set up a separate layer. I'm like, dude, who the fuck wants to do that?
Yo, I actually hope people do that because I think I'll like those are the kind of people that I will beat. There's no way you're gonna out aim someone else.
No. And it's like, well, if you're only gonna use the mouse like every once, it's like, no, I want a pointer device, whether it's a trackball or trackpad. So what I ended up doing.
Oh, go ahead.
I use a trackball for my streaming PC because I don't want 2 mice to share 1 mouse pad. So having a mouse with a trackball allows me to not have to move my other mouse around when it's on the same mouse pad as my gaming PC. Yep, thumb.
Me too. Which one is?
It's just a Logitech wired one that has the red ball.
Oh, okay, cool. I have this one is the M570, but on my desktop I have the Ergo.
Okay. Is that one good?
Like, so worth it.
Okay.
Like, I have bad arthritis. I'm sure like most of us do. We sit in front of computers all day.
Yep.
And gout. So sometimes the gout would like affect my fingers and I wouldn't be able to type. So that Ergo like is amazing because you can change like the rotation of it.
Yep.
And it's changed my life. Like my hands feel and people were like, I don't play a ton of games anyway, but like I said, I was playing Fallout 4 and I just use a trackball. I can aim. Oh, maybe that's why I suck. Maybe
that could be. That could be. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a controller or something.
Yeah, either a controller or a mouse. Well, like an actual mouse.
I played like World of Warcraft because that's another game that I used to be really into, like in college, and I played that with all just fine. That's a little different though. You don't have to aim, so. Right,
and I used to use a trackball for like Age of Empires, so totally doable.
AOE 2, so good.
All day. So I have 2 of the wireless Logitechs that you have right now. I just bought one for the craft room PC and one for the living room PC. And
you have a computer in every room of the house?
Yeah, other than the bedroom and bathroom.
I'm trying to think. So I have a server that doesn't count.
You see mine other way? Right there.
Oh, okay. Damn, yours is bigger.
Hey.
Not the first time I said that tonight.
Yeah. I ended up just getting like a piece of wood And then I have a keyboard, like a wireless Bluetooth keyboard, and then the trackball mouse. And that's what we use for controlling the living room PC, and then the same thing for the craft room PC.
That's cool. You know what I like? Well, I use all Amazon. They have all my info. Like, Amazon owns me, like, for real. I've every credit card they offer. I have Amazon Business. I've got Prime. I've got music, the extended music thing. I've got everything. Like, I just decided, okay, this is the company that I'm just going to give it all. Rather than spreading it out across 5 different companies, I'm just going to
give it all to one. Yep.
Yeah. So, like, we have the Amazon Fire TV, and so we just use the remotes. But when I was messing around, like, and I had Raspberry TV, I would use those, like, handheld mouse with the little track.
Oh my God.
But, like, honestly, for, like, running Kodi on a Raspberry Pi, it's perfect.
It worked, yeah.
Or if you're playing, like, emulated, like, Nintendo games, it's fine. But those things are, I mean, they're all the same exact, just, like, branded, and you can get them in China for like $2.
Dude, I remember having 2 of those, and they both broke within like the first couple months.
Yeah.
But I remember buying it and having a handheld keyboard and trackpad. I'm like, I'm the coolest, nerdiest motherfucker there is. You kidding me?
And now you have like 16 keyboards on your desk.
Seriously, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 just on this one desk.
I won't even count. That's what we were talking about in our time. I'm like, I'm not going to count because it's high, man. It's a high number. Like I said, I build one of everything, and I'm talking like we got the white launch pad, and I built one of those. I had no reason to build one.
Yep, I bought 2, even though I didn't need them.
I know it works. We didn't change anything on the design. We just changed the PCB color. But I'm like, all right, maybe like just in case the batch is bad or something like that. Like, I like to spot test everything. So I try to take like the worst looking. I'll go through like whatever I got and be like, all right, this is B stock, so I'll take that one. But it just adds up. I definitely have over 25 like input devices that are just keyboard.
Oh my God. Have you gotten into splits at all?
Okay, so I have Let's Split A, which is like a Canadian would say. That's what it's called.
Yeah, A?
Yeah, with a question mark. It's actually the guy on our podcast, Chris, Maple Computing, did that. And I liked that because it was all on board. So all you had to do was add switches. You didn't have to do anything else. It's got RGB that you can program like across it. And so I built that thing, Strata KB case. I tried it. It's basically a plank that's split. So I noticed that I ended up like by the end of the day, it was back as a plank. Like,
it was put back together.
Just like slowly get closer and closer back to a plank. But with the PCBs I stocked today, and this, I'm not shilling, but like, so one of the ones is an Ergo Dash, and I'm terrified. Like, so that's the one exception to my PCB rule that I just, gave myself props over. I have not built a Dash yet because that build is terrifying. It's a terrifying looking build. Like I don't know if you saw that PCB, but there's just holes for days. It's like that Shia LaBeouf movie, Holes.
I saw it. I'm like, whoa, this looks interesting. I'm kind of interested. And then I clicked on it and I go, holy shit, that is a crowded PCB. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
That list of stuff. And I'm like, I have it all. Probably do it. But like, I'm pumped to try that. Pumped to try Split Ergo because I've never tried that.
I haven't either.
I think that could help also with arthritis. Like, and I know there's some cases people make that are also planted almost like in the same vein of like the key or the mouse, the MX Ergo. Mm-hmm. So I think I might try to grab something like that too, just to like really, because my hands can get bad. That's like, people are like soldering's easy, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't have bad arthritis. Like I'm shaking like trying to get the fucking Pro Micro on there,
Dude, yeah.
I've ruined a lot of PCBs in my life, like a lot, for stupid reasons. Like I thought, I'll try to desolder these LEDs. That's the worst,
dude.
I learned after the fact you have to use a heat gun and tweezers, but
yeah, I tried doing the Super 16, which has like there's cutouts for the LEDs in the PCB itself, and then you have to get the LED perfectly level with the PCB, and that is the smallest fucking solder joints that do not connect no matter how hard you try. And I remember like halfway through it and somebody's like, you're supposed to bake that, right? And not solder it. And then of course, like the temperature at what I'm soldering at is like 200 degrees Fahrenheit above what the LED is capable of taking.
Well, so sometimes you can bake it, but like another thing you can do, which I started doing rare, like caps lock or whatever.
By the way, your mic is cutting out a lot.
Is it really?
I don't know if it's the batteries or I don't know if it's your noise gate, but it's gotten a little bit worse as we've gone out through the show. But
okay,
are they Bluetooth?
They are.
Okay.
You want me to? I can go get a different mic. Stream.
Yeah, that last sentence I only heard about 25% of.
Okay, I can go get another microphone, but is that going to be all right?
I think so. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, give it a shot, because it's a lot of your sentences are getting chopped up and it's gotten worse and worse.
All right, my bad. This is the first time I'm on video.
You're good, dog. You're good. So he was talking about, he has a desk where he usually does, his computing, but he said that he had just gotten a massive order of keyboard PCBs in, and they're just scattered throughout his entire desk. So he's a little bit cramped. God, he's oh God. Oh Jesus Lord. Oh God, Josh. Let's see if he can. Josh, help me. Oh, there he is. Do your thing. I saw a cat.
Did you?
Yeah. Kitty. Can
you hear me now?
Touch the mic. Oh my God. That one is way worse.
Wait, it might not be loud. Is it on now?
Yeah, I can hear it now.
It's bad?
It just it's so tinny compared to the other mic.
I'm doing what I can, man.
Hey, Nat, I appreciate it. Don't worry. We're nearing towards the end, so you only have to hold out a little bit longer.
Is it usable? Is it usable?
I feel it sounds like you now have a generator in your room.
Hold on. Let me just What are you laughing about? What are you fucking laughing about?
Where is that microphone from?
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
Bro, it's an Insignia.
Oh my God. The Best Buy brand Insignia?
Yes, man. My good stuff's in the fucking computer room.
Oh my God.
But look.
Oh, okay. We got a pussy to make up for it.
It's Boris.
Boris?
Yeah.
Hi, Boris. Like GoldenEye Boris?
Well, no. Well, yeah. I mean, Boris Badenoff from, like, Rocky and Bullwinkle. You too young for that?
I think I might be. Or just too sheltered.
It's like a cartoon, Rocky and Bullwinkle. No?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
I feel like I ruined your podcast, man. I'm so sorry.
No, dude, don't worry about it whatsoever. We've had much worse audio on the podcast before.
Well, that's good to know. I'll have these. If people would buy them, I wouldn't have all these PCs at my
So where do you see the future of SpaceCat going? Like, is there things that you haven't done yet that you want to do? Do you see yourself kind of moving into a completely different direction, or are you kind of already sitting where you want to be?
Well, I like I said earlier, and tell me if this is bad and you can't understand what I'm saying, but I like catering mostly to like the budget end, because I think there needs to be like a step for people who were like myself, like reluctant to just shell out $100 right off the bat for something they're not even sure they're interested in, and like maybe they're not the kind of person that's going to go to a meetup to try a couple keyboards. They just don't want to do that, and so I don't think I'll ever stop doing that, because I think it was such a hard
thing to get into, like when I got into it, that this is something I want to definitely continue to do. And like I think probably that's always going to be like my niche inside this little world. But I even with the stuff I stock today, that's a little bit like higher price stuff, but it's still, I think, like cool. I don't think that I'll ever have like, those like super $9.
Well, I mean, like, I think as long as you still carry the other stuff, I don't think you're going to be straying too far away from your original vision. Like, if you want to carry some of the top shelf boards, to cater to that audience, I don't think that's such a huge deal. It's just like, yeah, if you're like, oh, if you just got rid of all your stuff, it's like, okay, Holy Pandas are the only Switches that we're selling now. They're all made in shop and they're totally not fakes.
Yeah, right. Oh God,
that was something else.
Dude, there's so much drama, and it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's plastic and PCBs, and like, I'm not saying it's not important. It's obviously important. It's like my job, but I still realize that like I'm not a doctor, and like lives aren't being lost or saved by Collide 39. Like, well, maybe.
Hey, you never know.
You never know what that EMT's using in the back of the ambulance.
They got to enter their data somehow.
That would be all. I mean, that would be the coolest thing ever if I found that they had like a launch pad, or like that. That would be the coolest goal, to get a launch pad in space, right?
Dude, if I ever like suffer a heart attack in like probably 5 years, and I'm gonna look towards the front of the ambulance and be like, okay, what kind of keyboard they got for this?
Dude, next time the police come to your home there and start interrogating you about abuse,
right?
Can you check if they're using a mechanical keyboard?
Josh, I'm dying, but they got a gherkin sitting in the front of the ambulance. Just want to let you know.
They said they got it from SpaceCat.
How long has SpaceCat been like in business? So let's like, how long has the website been up?
So we started, I would say, like 2018, like early, like probably January. Like honestly, it was probably pretty close to the start of the year. But we only carried like hand painted keycaps at the time. Like my wife was doing them. It was just kind of like, I was just kind of dipping my toes and just seeing, and like I never had an online store before, so I didn't know. I was using Big Cartel, which is like not something I would use like for the back end, but
okay.
So we were very like, it was not a lot on there, and then so slowly, like probably 3 to 4 months after we started, so maybe like April of last year, we probably started to carry like actual stuff. Like I think O-rings was like one of the first things. We had some wooden wrist rests at one point that I had gotten commissioned and was reselling them. Stabilizers, just like things people need, right? Just
right.
Like diodes, just like whatever. And then just gradually, like what I do, and I still do, is like if I see that there's a lack of something being sold currently, there's people asking for it, even if it's something like random. Like I have some stuff on my store that like probably no one is going to use except for like.
But that's what I love your store for.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, honestly, as long as it's not a huge investment that like I can't afford to take, because like I know it's going to take a while to return. As long as it's not something like that, that would be like a barrier with expensive like keyboards, because that's a lot up front, and then you got to be able to move that pretty fast to get that back. So like I could see myself like doing that, but I don't think anytime like very soon that part. But and then after that, probably by October that year, I would say it was moved to like the shop, and that's when like SpaceCat, now how it looks and like logo and all that stuff, that's probably where it's
okay.
So okay. It's honestly not even been that long. And
right.
Officially this year, we incorporated to our LLC now, and I have to do big boy stuff like.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. you see how much, like, you see the like revenue, but then it's like when you do your taxes, you're like, oh my God.
Oh fuck yeah! It's so time consuming to do all that stuff as well.
Yeah. Oh, and I for better or worse, I've been doing my own taxes, and I think I'm doing them all right. I guess we'll find out.
You got 7 years to find out, right?
Right? Is that what it is?
I think you're able to get audited 7 years after you submit it.
Well, I don't do it like, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to put anyone on the spot, but like, I do things more official than some people.
Okay.
And that's just because I'm paranoid as shit. Like, I just, like, the business insurance thing is probably a little bit overkill for me right now, but like, I'm just imagining someone they have a kid and they swallow a keycap, and then I'm getting sued.
Oh God!
You see what I mean?
Yeah, you think way deep into it.
But like, think about it. McDonald's got sued because the coffee was hot, and like, there's.
It's true.
It's America. American life is sued, I think. So either suing or being sued. So hopefully I end up suing and not sued, but hopefully none of that shit happens. But it's funny because they say it takes 2 years before you make profit, and when I first started, I was like, why does it take people 2 years? It seems like this doesn't seem. I'm making profit now. This is weird. But then you realize you start to scale, and so you got to buy new shit. You got to buy a thermal printer. You got to next tier Shopify. And it just piles and piles. And even still now, like, I just bought a 3D printer. Like, did I need that? No, but
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I want to start selling printed stuff that like we made in house, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of like, just, I don't know, picking like the right investment. That's basically what I do with anything I carry. I always start with because I'm just not sure. Like, I know I'm paying more for shipping and not getting much in return, but that like first time. Because if I order 20 of something and they sit for a year, I'm not gonna do that. Right.
Well, dude, we got a Q&A to hit at the end here, and while I'm getting these questions ready, if you want to lower your noise gate a little bit, because I think that's might be where the audio clipping is coming in. Oh God, no, I don't hear anything at all now.
No. How about now?
Oh man, it's still. I don't know. You say that's a new laptop?
It's a. How?
I did not hear anything you just said. Okay. Are you upping it or are you lowering it?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
No, barely. I can make out your words because I can see your lips moving, but yeah,
I'm so confused.
If you're looking at your noise gate in Discord, you're gonna want to go to the left to open it more. Yeah.
How are you seeing what
no, I just know Discord audio.
Oh, okay. So yeah, So.
Keep going. Keep going.
No.
I almost heard I think I heard myself in your microphone. Yeah, try it for shits and giggles. Try the webcam mic, and we'll try and ride that out for.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
How's that?
Way better.
Is it really?
Yeah. All right. So if you want to keep, or you might just have to turn down your speakers a little bit more, just so that I think I'm actually. No, I can't hear myself. I'm okay. We're good. Yep, we're good. Dude, it is crazy how much better your webcam mic is compared to the headset. I'm not even joking.
I'm really sorry. I thought it was going to be shitty. I would have just done this from the beginning.
Listen, nobody in the history of Twitch watches this channel because of my like top-notch quality, okay? Everything is very pieced together, band-aid, broken.
You've seen our podcast, so.
Your podcast is great.
It's good.
I think you're overly critical.
I am.
Okay, because it's always been a great listen. You guys all have a great dynamic. And
I love those guys. Yeah, they're like
you guys are killing it.
we shit talk each other so much, but it's like it's just good fun, you know.
Good old Raz.
Yeah,
The same exact reason why I love having the podcast that I have with my dudes is just because, like, you can throw it out there and they'll either eat it up or they're going to throw it right back in your face. Yeah. You can razz each other and you're not going to cry about it later that night. Well, I mean, if you'll cry that night, but you'll forget about it once you wake up the next day. Right. Okay.
Well,
so
next time, man, I'll either use this microphone or I'll have these PCBs not in my office.
You're hopeful there's a next time.
Oh, fuck you.
All right, so these questions are the questions that were grabbed from chat from the bot.
I only see like 6 of them.
4.
Oh, wow.
And also, somebody's asking about Crocs. So, all right, first question comes from Gamers for Life. How did you get into building keyboards? So you kind of told that story about how you got into. Did you get into building keyboards with the plan of starting a company, or
no.
Okay?
Not at all. The first keyboard I built was a Tada 68, which is from Keyboard Fans, and you only have to solder this. So it wasn't like some crazy. I mean, it was bad for me, like, because I just can't solder for shit. But that was the first thing I did, and that was before I had a store or I had anything. And then I started paying more attention and like looking at the artisans, and my wife was looking, and she was like, I bet I could, paint or do something like on a keycap. So we just messed around with that. And then, I built keyboards. I built probably a couple before I thought, like, you know what? This is a pain in the ass because everything's so expensive. I'm not even sure I'm in this hobby, like, for life at this point. Like, it's hard. And even the Tada 68, which is like $120, I think, with the like aluminum, or not the aluminum, metal case. Even like I didn't do the plastic one, I did I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money for a keyboard, man. And and little did I know that's
not even the tip of the iceberg. It was
some of the like Korean custom out there are like several $1,000s.
Insane.
That's not even a key set or anything. That's just the actual like case and board.
Right. One of the I don't know if it was I think it was the first mechanical board that I bought was a DOS keyboard Ultimate, the one that had the blank keycaps. And I remember that was $140. And I thought that was an insane amount of money for a keyboard.
It kind of is, isn't it though?
It is. It is. And then after that, I spent $170 on my Corsair K70. It was when blues were in shortage. Do you remember that? When Sherry MX blues had a shortage? Okay. No. There was this weird shortage that Corsair specifically, I don't know if it was all keyboard brands, but Corsair, it was very hard to get a Corsair board with blues. And then randomly, like one week, they're like, oh, by the way, we happen to get like 100 Corsair K70s with blue switches. So they're special edition. It could have been a huge marketing scheme just to sell them very expensive. But I grabbed one of those. It was like $180 shipped or something. But I love that keyboard. I still have it. Actually, my girlfriend uses it. And
it's funny you say that because a lot of people dump on you for that board.
Right. The elitists.
Well, if you're going to name groups. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's no different than like the membrane thing. Like, just because you have one doesn't mean like, so what? Is that the end of the world? Like,
right. And what's so wrong about the K70? It's a beautiful black beauty that glows.
Is that the one? Does it have the weird bottom row? Like the keys are different sizes? See, that's the only thing that bothers me. And that's the same thing with like HHKBs and stuff like I like the bottom row the way it is, and I don't want like longer keys or
missing key completely.
Well, I never understood that. That makes no sense. That's just
I don't either.
And you sacrifice function, makes no sense.
I agree.
What is it? Function over form? Yeah, for sure. But it's there's definitely, and I was alluding to this earlier, like there's groups, and like in anything, there's elitist sport fans, there's elitist there's 100% elitist like esport fans. Like
oh yes.
Even in my little stint of watching like CS:GO, like ESL or whatever, I was like, you could tell just how it was.
Yep.
So no, I don't. What was the original question? Why did I get into keyboards?
Yeah, how did you get into building keyboards?
Yeah, so it was just the Tada 68, and I thought it was cool because it was smaller than a full size, and I never use a numpad anyway, like most people.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what, I need the arrow keys for sure because I use those in Photoshop, and then I just remapped the right side, which is like home, page up, page down by default, to some stuff for Photoshop. So like that plus a macro pad, and I was good, and that's how it started. And then I think the next board I did was like I got a Magic Force 68 because everyone does,
right?
Mostly,
yeah.
And I destroyed that board. I tried to desolder the switches immediately.
Like you bought it and then went to desolder it.
I bought it with I was gonna desolder it, and I was gonna put the programmable PCB, which we carry, or Kibio has one too, the Tragic Force.
Okay.
And swap the PCB and do the whole thing. I thought I was like, oh, I soldered it. I'm good. I can do it now. And desoldering is just a whole nother.
Dude, it's so fucking difficult.
I've never desoldered a Pro Micro successfully. I break them all the time, and I don't even care. I don't feel bad anymore.
I had to pick up we call it the Suckmaster, but it's the Heiko FR301.
You have that?
Yep.
Is it as good as I think?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Even for like Pro Micros and stuff?
Yep. The only thing is for the pins have to be short enough for the nozzle to get around because the pins are so close together.
Yeah, that's a problem because I cut my pins really low because I like to keep the board low profile as possible most times.
So yeah, if you're trimming it, then it's no problem at all. But it's just, dude, having a vacuum pump just wow. And sometimes I fucked myself on one of the most recent boards that I built. I used a lead-free solder. It was Kester. It was Kester lead-free solder.
Why?
Dude, I didn't know.
It's bad.
I soldered it, and then I went to go desolder it, and I burnt every single solder point on that board.
It's very hard to desolder lead-free. You have to have like one of those variable control ones that let you go very high, and even then you're like PCB up. You're gonna Charizard that shit easily. And I've done my fair share of that, like that Magic Force, and like, you know, I fucked it up right away, like right away. And so I was like, all right, well, I might as well like use this to learn something. So then I like was testing different methods to like desolder and solder, and I still have the case, which ultimately is actually fine because that's what I was trying to get to. So I could put another PCB in. I just haven't done it yet.
It's all worked out.
It kind of. I wasn't expecting like to have broken it literally the first day, but because there's like a little it's like a little battery or something. Oh no, you know what that was? My third keyboard was an RK61 Royal Klug, and I also broke that one immediately.
God damn, Josh.
It was a rough ride. It was that same DOS keyboard you had that I did not ruin. I traded it, but yeah, and these boards I had before SpaceCat, I ever thought about it. And then like after spending money and breaking things, I was like, you know what? This sucks. Like there needs to be a way like that I can get some of this stuff, you know, in America, like so I don't have to wait 30 days to get everything.
That's the other thing too is
like I know there's an upcharge. It's just kind of how business is, and I have to do it too. And it is what it is, but like it sucks when you mess something up. You've been waiting for it and you mess it up, and then you got to wait like 30 plus days or whatever to get it back. And another reason too that I don't do the expensive while we're talking about it is because I'm too scared, man. That's
right.
Like, even when I was doing the Scarlet Bandana, there was a couple of the Kale swaps that like had broken off during transit, and so I had to resolder them, and I'm like fucking sweating on this board because I'm so scared that like this is like my one shot at this like hundreds of $1 board. You get one shot, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then
it's just like a glutton for punishment, and it worked out. It worked out fine because at that point I was better at it, but that was, I mean, that's why, because I wanted there to be like if someone was like, oh, I only need like 10 diodes or 50 diodes or whatever, they could just grab them from my store. And like,
even if they buy 10, you send them 50 anyways. I
to be honest with you, that the diode thing I don't count, man. I I have like, so I have these boxes and they're full of diodes and they pull down, and I have like a thing notched where I'm like, all right, I'll pull it down to here and I cut it. And I know it's way more than 50.
I have so many diodes from you.
They're so cheap. It's like, I don't mind and I'll do that a lot too. Like, especially things like if someone's talking to me ahead of time about a build and I know they're nervous or something, like with the launch pads, I tend to try to throw more than one reset button in there because they're hard to solder. And,
fuck those things.
Yeah. And I've had multiple people be like, thank you for putting like 6 in there because I went through all 6, and like they're just so cheap that it's like I might as well. Like, and it probably saves me like some customer service time and gets me goodwill, but mostly it's
absolutely
like just to make it easier. Like,
right.
I don't want someone to have to go through a whole bunch of shit for a 30-cent reset button. Like,
yep.
And honestly, that's one of the big ones I get is like for launch pads, like the reset button is a big issue because it sucks to put on there.
Dude, and
you don't need it, by the way. If you're watching, you don't have to put that on.
Right. The Pro Micro has the 2 that pins that you can bridge.
Or you can use an Elite C and it has a reset button on it.
For sale on SpaceCat.design. And even just like, oh, okay, I broke this switch. Let me Google it. Keyboard reset switch. What the fuck am I like? You don't even know what to search for, right. And that's half the battle too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's the story. I mean, I just wanted it to be a little accessible, and then just kind of grow. Like I love looking like through the sites like Taobao and stuff like that because there's so much cool shit on there that's not over here yet. And I love if I can be like the first one to bring like those things like in a domestic setting. Like, yeah, it's good for me, but it's also like it's cool for me too because I get to like play with things that other people don't have. Like,
absolutely,
to be honest with you.
Yep.
So that's like one of my favorite parts is to just like browse these like stores. Like I have bookmarked, and I can't speak Chinese or read Chinese, but I have it. Like I know the links that I need to. I know this one's like new releases, and I know this is like sort by alphabetical or price, and so I have all that set up, and like I do get a lot of people like asking for proxy help with that kind of stuff, and
of course
I don't mind that either, helping, because like when I was learning it, I was hitting the mechanical keyboard Discord hard, like what does this mean, and they were very helpful. So
that's what can make or break a hobby is those first moments getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely, because if it was someone like fuck you buffalo cunt, like, get out of here.
Hey, buffalo cunt, why don't you use a keyboard to control your mouse like the rest of us?
Yeah. What's that membrane doing there, you
Christ? Next question, also from gamers: is it hard getting into building keyboards?
No, it's not hard to get into it. It's hard to do it right. Like, yeah. Because, like I said, I was real gung-ho. It was real easy to buy the boards, but it was also real easy to fuck them up.
Yep.
And so I think that's, and this, again, you mentioned it, like with the Launchpad, like that's why I would recommend anyone, and not even a launch. There's a ton of macro pads out there. Get anyone you want.
There's really not, though.
Well, okay.
Budget for, like, the Launchpad and the Sweet 16 are, like, the only cheap kind of all-in-one kits that I think are starter friendly.
I'll take it. I mean,
yeah, because believe me, I fucking searched, and like the companies that I did find, who I won't name, don't even fucking respond to their emails or anything.
There is one. I know what you're talking about. I think I got you, but yeah, they don't, and that's another thing. Like I take customer service pretty serious. Like I might not always get to you right away, but when I get to you, it's going to be, I will have done my homework on it, because I just feel like it's easier to solve the problems like the first time than bullshit someone and like just drag it. Like a lot of people do that too, and it's like, why are you doing this? Just if you can help, and if you can't, I'll straight up say, look, I have no fucking, I don't know what you did. It seems fine, but I'm not holding it. You can send it to me if you want, but like I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix it. And then
like I just did with my Elite C. Like, I think I fucked this one up.
Listen, those things are so small to solder. It's the worst. But
so much in such a small amount of space.
But if you ever watch Google, like, or go on YouTube and watch like fast solders, the people are insane. I'm talking like 32 pins, 4 seconds, like just unbelievable.
Yeah, people are crazy.
I'm not. What's sad about it is I'm not that good at anything in my life.
Right? Doesn't that fucking piss you off?
There's not one thing that I'm that good at in my life, and I'm like, where did it all go wrong?
I think I could probably do a Pro Micro in under 2 minutes, like a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Well, if you're doing a launch pad, you only have to do half of the pins.
Right. There's only 12, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was also part of it, because we were like, you're not going to need it. The most someone's going to want to do probably is add RGB strip, which you can still do. You just have to run a wire. I had someone put a speaker on theirs and like a little thing where they can record. So they were using it as like a thing where people like, so when his wife would go to work, or when he would go to work, he would like press it, record a message, and then when his wife would get home, she would press another button and it would repeat it to her. So it's actually, that was really cool to see.
I thought he was like, he was going to work and he thought his wife was cheating, so he would just record using his lunch.
No.
That's where I thought you were going with that.
Like an episode of Cheaters, and I come out and I'm like,
oh my God,
what are you doing in this hotel room with that launch pad?
That's actually super cute.
Yeah, I what I really like is seeing what people like. We wanted to make it easy, so we were like, let's take out the pins that you don't need to, because it sucks. It sucks to solder them, and like it'll be easier to desolder if you need to, and then, if there's still enough, like I don't do PCB design. Like I just communicate my ideas to someone
who can.
Yeah, and so I don't know how it works, but like there's enough voltage on there to support the strip, and like apparently a speaker and a fucking recorder thing, because the guy did it, and pretty cool. And well, the original question was, is it hard to get into building them, right? It's not hard to get into it, but I think it's hard to be like very proficient at it.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people who are like willing to like, oh, send me your board, like pay me $40, I'll fix it. I'm not, I would never.
No.
I don't trust myself at all. Like Hibio, like Danny, one of the guys on my podcast, he has like a fix service where you can send him your board and he'll fix it. Fuck that. I'm
too much responsibility.
Yeah, and then if you mess it up, you gotta and then some of these keyboards you can't replace. Like it's not
right,
because they're just not there anymore. And I'm not gonna go. I don't want to have to go and pay $3,000 to because I wanted to make $40 to fix someone's.
Right, you'd have to sign a if this stays broken, it's not my fault clause for me to get onto that.
Like hold harmless or something, which I can't imagine anyone doing. But
right,
yeah. So, but there's a lot of people out there who do that, and I'm like, that good. I'm glad that exists, because guess what? If I screw up like my Scarlet bandana, I'm sending it to Danny. Like,
yep, I'm shipping it out.
This. Yeah, like just so you know, Danny, this is going to arrive in a couple days. I'll pay you when it works.
Next question comes from Dan the Man Fighter. Would you ever consider making your own custom keycap set?
Dan the Man Fighter. I think I know that guy.
You might.
Okay. I think he's in my Discord. So I have to tread lightly. You want a scoop?
Fuck yeah, I want a scoop. Mint chocolate chip, bro.
There is a SpaceCat set being worked on.
Fuck yeah.
And it won't be unaffordable. It will. Is that a word? Unaffordable? It will be affordable.
Yeah, it will be. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Make it easy. Yeah. It will be affordable. I'm sure I'll get like heat for like when I'm working. Like I know, like the Tally How thing. People get upset because the colors and like all that. And I don't really think it's copying if it's just colors, because you can't really copyright colors. If you're stealing like novelty art, then yes, then definitely that happens.
Right.
And so I made sure like I found a factory that I wanted to work with that could do it for a good amount, so a very decent quality set for a very decent price. And I wanted to make sure they had no, like, with all this crap going around about clones and all this stuff, like I vetted the shit out of the place. So there is, I'll just say that.
Okay. Awesome.
And Yeah, and it's I'll just say it's a good profile.
Fuck yeah, dude. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Awesome. All right, final question from Big Asian Boy. Do you know who Drew Peacock is?
Drew Peacock.
I feel like saying Drew Peacock or saying who Drew
Peacock.
Drew Peacock.
Drew Peacock.
Yeah, I felt like that was me walking into something.
Yeah, Drew Peacock.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I never heard that one.
I've actually never heard that one, and now I'm going to steal it.
I was about to Google Drew. And then I said it out loud.
I'm actually wondering if you if you Google that Drew Peacock.
I still have Buffalo open.
Buffalo. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
There's a YouTube channel for Drew Urban Dictionary, aka Drew Peacock.
I see a picture of Fat Bastard from Austin Powers, and it says a caption that says Drew Peacock versus Uganda.
So, yeah.
The fuck.
So this says Drew Peacock, aka Drew Peacock. If you say the name out loud, it is really funny. Great for attendance in class when there is a substitute teacher. Where's Drew Peacock? I have a Drew Peacock on the list. and then the suggested response to the teacher is, and I quote, "Ha, you just said Drew Peacock."
Dude, I am going to, next time I get hauled into like a pyramid scheme, I'm going to write my name down as Drew Peacock. Oh my God, that's fantastic. How have I never heard this?
Yeah, it's a good one because the Peacock thing, like it did. I was like, that's something. But right away, I didn't connect it to Drew Peacock.
That's fucking great. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. That. Well, dude, that concludes the Q&A. And unfortunately, that also concludes the podcast. So what I want you to do is I want you to take some time and talk about SpaceCat, what you have coming up. If you have any new releases that have come out, what you have planned for the future. Now is the time for you to shill your balls off, you buffalo cunt. And I want you to.
It's like our shill zone. Okay.
Shill zone, baby. Take it away.
So, yeah, SpaceCat.design. You can also get there by a shorter URL, which is spacec.at. It's spelled SpaceCat. Don't worry about it. Just go to spacecat.design. We did, as we talked about, I have like 250 pounds legit of PCBs all over my 1-bedroom apartment, and my wife loves it. So if you could buy some of this stuff, that would really help me out. We got the Amoeba 10 packs in today, which are like for hand wiring builds. We got some Alpha 28 PCBs in with a pretty cool example keyboard that I built. It's like a tiny little, they took the gherkin and actually took more keys away from it. I actually use mine for my server, so it works pretty well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like it because there's like this little crevice in my server, and it fits perfectly right in there. So, and as long as you can do the layers and stuff, it's enough to use like the terminal.
For sure.
I got Ergo Dash PCB kits. Those are the ones we were talking about that I'm like terrified to build because it's just like that Shia LaBeouf movie.
Yep.
And I got and then so I'm also carrying, like, I don't know what you would call it, but Kibio, which is another one of the guys on my podcast, stopped carrying some of the stuff that they developed and allowed me to carry his older stuff. So if you're looking for things like the Dilly, which is like a 3x10 keyboard kit, low profile keycaps, you can grab it at SpaceCat. You can get that Magic 468 replacement keyboard or PCB, if you want to add programmability and different lighting and stuff to that. Just be careful when you desolder it because it is hard.
That Dilly I'm interested in.
Yeah, it's cool. And we do sell the caps too. And what's neat about those caps is you can actually use a laser to engrave them. So we're going to have some like SpaceCat ones for that, like the low pro ones, because they're so like thin that it just goes right on top of it, and it looks really well done. So we'll have those soon. We got the Gherkin kits back, which are like very popular, and this time I did them in matte black. It looks awesome.
I agree.
Yeah, I built one. I don't need it, but I have another Gherkin now. Like, We got the lapless in, which is another KBO thing, which is a 40% like staggered kit, probably comparable to like the Daisy 40 or like a JD 40. And that's all like the new PCBs I got. Obviously, we have the Elite Cs. I just got a new restock of those. So if you're looking to get out of the Pro Micro game and up it a little bit, definitely grab some of those. Oh, and the last thing I will say is we did also stock UT 47.2 kits, and this is a cool keyboard because it comes, everything's on board. So all you have to do is add switches and like lights if you want, but it has hot swaps, so you don't even have to solder the switches in.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's 3 pieces, all PCB. Screw it in, pop the switches in, and you're good to go. I built mine in probably like 6 minutes tonight, and works perfectly. Yeah, because you don't have to solder anything. It has USB-C, and they're available in purple and black, which is cool.
You know, I get a hard on for purple.
Me too. I had a purple shirt on earlier. I was going to wear it, but then I spilled coffee on it.
Damn, and purple's my go-to. I just noticed for both black on black. Fucked up. What was I about to ask? Oh, whoever purchased the remainder of your Pro Micro SIP socket adapters this weekend, I need you to take a shit and put it in whatever box you're shipping out to that person.
So listen, little secret, you can use the regular SIP sockets too.
I actually was just asking about this in my Discord. I don't know the difference between those round pin SIP socket ones.
Okay, so I would say the round ones are better. They're more sturdy and they'll hold the connection better. The ones that are called dual wipe, they're, a lot of people will say they're not really for like Pro Micros, but that's not true because they do work fine with the Pro Micro. The connection is just a little looser, which some people do prefer, and they're cheaper. So it's kind of like, it's up to you really. If you're going to be like banging the thing around all over the place, like it's possible the Pro Micro slips off, which is not like a huge deal. You just pop it back in. But
I feel like it's pretty, on the ones that looks like it has the metal canal which it punctures into. Yeah. I don't feel like that's going anywhere.
Those are the dual wipe ones, and I'm not saying they're not like sturdy. I'm saying they're just less sturdy than which are like, so for the round ones, you can't actually use the header pins that come with the Pro Micro. You have to use diode legs because they're too thick, the header pins that come with it. Oh. So yeah, so when you're like cutting diodes or LED, save the legs just in case you want to socket them because the header pins won't fit into those. And that's like a known thing. Yeah, you like, it's a pain in the ass, but that just save all of the stuff that you're clipping. Like, a certain amount. I just have like a little tin full. But with the dual wipe though, you can use the headers, so that's another pro.
Okay, so those are the ones that I've been using lately,
and that's fine. And then, but what you can also do is, if you look on that page, it says at the bottom like you can also use, and then there's a link like SIP sockets, like for the ones for LEDs. You can do that too because they come in like a 40, and then you can just snap it. And it won't come in that like square shape. It'll be just like 2 rows.
Shit, I should order some of those.
But some people like that too because then there's not like extra shit in their way of like in the middle. You know what I mean? Like the black thing is.
Yep.
So there's those, and then I do have some of the Milmax peel-aways. So if you talk to me outside of this, have you seen those? Because
I have not.
Okay, those are super awesome. They're very low profile. You peel them off and then you solder them in, and it's like it doesn't add any kind of height to it, and your board is soldered. It's hot socket.
Whoa!
I'll show you. They're really cool. Actually, Kibia, Danny had a bunch. I bought all of them. He was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "What? You had them. I wanted them, so I bought them." He was like, "You better not sell those for like 25% more." I said, "No, these are personal."
Yeah, I'm taking these.
Yeah, well, because listen, man, I've gone through so many Pro Micros. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I just started buying them in surplus now. I have one. I wouldn't say customer, but I just, as you know, I just build boards for people for free because I just want them to have boards. But I have one lady, her name is Gray, and she has snapped 2 Pro Micro connectors off. So I'm probably going to give her an Elite C.
Elite C, or you could do like the magnetic adapters. Those work.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't really. I find like if you accidentally pop off, so I don't use them too much, but I know a lot of people really like them. I guess it depends on like how all of your stuff is set up.
Right.
As you know, my desk is a living object, and I have a lot of shit on there right now.
Always.
It's IKEA too, so it's probably gonna fall apart.
Oh fuck.
I don't know if it's rated for 250. Yeah, I don't think I would sit on it. Shit, man, that might actually be a problem. Anyway,
you're gonna go back in there later, and there's just gonna be a huge bow in the middle.
There's already, oh, trust me, there's already a huge bow in that thing. From every time I get one of those like DHL boxes, like in the
yoink,
guys, they're so pissed. They're so upset. They got to use the like, mechanical cart to get it up the steps, and I can hear it. I can hear it because where my office is like shares the wall with the steps. So I hear the car pull up and it's idling outside my window, and I'm like, all right, that's a delivery. I don't know who it is. But then I hear the cart come out and it's like, and I hear him going one step at a time. And like, so at this point I know like, all right, so I'll get the guy like a bottle of water and a beer, and I'll just be like, you know, you want one? And like most of the time they take the water, but I have had him do the beer before.
Good man. Good man.
Hopefully it was when they got home, but
drink and delivery. Well, dude, is there anything else you want to chill out before we get out of here?
You can check out our podcast, Off the Clack. You can go offtheclack.com, or we're moving now to a new website. Either one's fine, has all the same shit on it. OTC.fm. Just a little shorter, a little nicer. Everything's going to eventually go to that. Naaackers has been on there, as well as some better people. And
oh, was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, check us out. It's a lot like the conversation we had tonight. So if you're into that, just kind of bullshit goes wherever it goes, and our mics drop out, and I have to fix a lot of things in post, which, by the way, if you need me to help, I'm really good at fixing audio in post now.
Out of 92 episodes, I have the only time I have ever gone in to edit is when we were using TeamSpeak and my mouse fucked up, and I accidentally added like 30 decibels of gain to somebody's microphone, and it blasted ears. It was so freaking loud. I have never gone back and edited audio for my podcast. I love my podcast. I don't love it that much. Too much time, man. I can't even imagine like listen. Editing all of yours together, separate channels.
So check this out. So between us, I actually just used the Twitch stream last week.
Good.
But what we use this website. It's called Auphonic, AUPHONIC.com, and it's like this. What do they call that? Machine learning algorithm. And you upload the tracks separately, and it automatically like takes everything, and then like if it notices two people start talking at the same time, but then one of them stops right away, it just mutes that first person. Like you can set like it's assuming that we tried to talk over each other,
right?
And that I won and kept talking, and that you stopped talking. So like you can set like the percentage of how much you want it to do that kind of stuff. And so like in a situation like with our podcast where a lot of times there's like a silence, and then like four people will start talking, but then only one of them continues, and it's kind of hard to hear what everybody said. This thing will automatically like detect that based on like the settings you pick and drop those guys completely. So if you listen to us live and then you listen to the podcast, it's completely different.
That's crazy.
Like, so much better. And the service is worth it. It's only like you pay for hours of processing. So like this would be 2.5 hours, I guess, of processing like yours. And it's cheap. I pay max for the 4 podcasts we do $10 a month.
Whoa. By the way, do you feel like you've been talking for 2.5 hours?
No.
Good.
Not really.
That's what I like to hear.
Once the game ended and I wanted to kill myself, good after that. You know what's fucked up? It's on again. It's on fucking replay.
Just replaying
it again. Like, because I didn't want to change the channel.
Just reliving it.
Please be different this time.
Got to go back in time and fix it, man. All right, well, dude, that's going to conclude it for this podcast. It was a super great time having you on. I'm super honored. Absolutely, dude. I'm super honored to have you on and just be able to shoot the shit with you. You've been one of the most like welcoming and heartwarming people that I've met in the game. So I really appreciate you, taking some time to just sit here and shoot the shit with me.
Well, man, I appreciate you having me on. And honestly, we loved having you on. So I don't see any reason why we can't just keep doing that. But bitch, let's play some games sometime.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get me to play Apex. We'll find something.
No, it doesn't have to be Apex. I don't care. I'll play fucking friends with golf. I'll fucking play some.
We got to do that, and we got to do. We're talking about Move or Die or Gang Beasts. Those are the fun ones. And yeah, dog, not Gang Bang, Gang Beasts.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
But yeah, guys, make sure you go check out SpaceCat.design. It's where I get like 80% of my keyboard shit from. I actually just put in an order today because I need some more shit. Please don't mix up my screws this time. Separate bags, please.
Oh, you know what's okay? I shouldn't say this, but you're lucky that you ordered the screws when you did, because I had someone buy every screw I own like right after your order.
I didn't even know that you had spacers for M3, and as soon as I saw those, I'm like, fuck yeah, those are mine.
I saw your order come in, and I was like, this, and that's how I was planning what I was gonna do to your box.
No.
Because what I'll do to like people I know is I'll just pack the shit out of it, like duct tape, and then like vinyl tape, and then like double-sided tape, just to piss people off.
Son of a bitch.
And it adds like an extra pound of shipping. But yeah, and then someone bought every screw, so I was like, wow, that happened.
Guess I'm shipping that out
before. Yeah. But yeah, thanks, man, for real. And you're always welcome back. And if you ever have questions, you can PM me directly. You're in the click now.
Yes, I finally made it. Thank God. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for checking out the podcast today. We hope you all had a fantastic time. Whoa, I'm losing my ability to talk. Hope you had a fantastic time. You guys will see me live again in a week from now for the next episode of the podcast with Middle Age Stream and Salty Sam. Then, of course, we have streams going throughout the week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So, again, make sure you check out SpaceCat Design, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Yeah, clickety clack, clickety.